Welcome to the Warehouse Success Principles, where in this video you're going to learn 11 warehouse success principles that will guide you throughout your e-commerce warehouse journey. And this is a fun one because we're going to be able to share a number of stories. I'm going to share with you a number of these images and what was ultimately guiding us throughout the entire journey that we've had. The truth is, as you embark on this journey, taking action in your warehouse, building your warehouse, your operations, there's going to be a number of things that happen on day to day, whether that is something urgent crops up, or you get that email or that phone call. But these guiding principles, these foundational principles, is like the North Star. It is, okay, there's maybe some turbulence in between, in the day to day, in the short term, but what is it that we're doing long term? And these 11 success principles that I've actually taken some time to really think about and review our entire journey, I've brought it down to these. And these will stand you in good stead when you are deciding milestones, when you are taking action on a specific something that you're working on right now within your operation. So let's begin. The first warehouse success principle that I've come to is, before you actually commit into a warehouse, until you actually, okay, I'm going to move into a warehouse, the first success principle is having a level of strategic and foundational success already. Allow me to explain what that means. Before all these photos, and wherever you are in your journey right now, if you've got yourself into a warehouse or you're thinking about getting yourself into a warehouse, before you commit to something like this, which is, it's a big step, right? You're going to be going into a property, you're going to be going into a warehouse that comes with a lot of complexities, everything from financials to staff to health and safety. There's a lot of things going on. And before you get to this point, you want to have some level of strategic and foundational success. That essentially means that what you've been doing has actually been more strategic, and you've actually got some purposeful results in your business. So you're not like a beginner at this point, right? So this is one of the first photos that we took all the way back in 2016, 5 years ago. And this was actually, when we moved into the warehouse, we didn't have any shelving, we didn't have many resources, we only had one member of staff at this moment in time. But foundationally, we'd already had a level of success here. So we'd actually already been building our business for 12 months already. We started in the June of 2015, and by the June of 2016, we'd already sold in our business £500,000 worth of revenue, right? That wasn't profit, it was revenue. We'd already had some foundational success, and it was very strategic at that point. I'd already started to build systems in the operation. I'd already started to hire staff in the business. I'd already had virtual assistants in the business, and we had our foundational operations in place, everything from sourcing to purchasing to ultimately shipping, as well as the actual account management of our business. So before you go into a warehouse and before you do anything in terms of your own business, this is one of the first places to start. It's having that first level of foundational success, okay? The second one I've got here on the list is, if you're going to commit into a warehouse, then the warehouse, all these that you see, has to be a part of your ultimate vision, right? It has to be a part of your ultimate vision. What is it that you ultimately want to do a part of your operation, a part of your business? Like for me, I was an electrical engineer, and a part of the manufacturing team that I was a part of, I always had that passion, that drive, that desire to actually build something that was a part of the foundations, the fabric of our business, which is the warehouse. The warehouse, everything here is foundationally, the entire business is built around this. And the ultimate vision that you have in your life, you've got to decide, because the warehouse is going to make such a significant difference. Do I go into a warehouse or do I not? Do I use some type of other service? The truth is, if you do decide to go into a warehouse, then whatever vehicle that you've decided, which is this e-commerce vehicle, you want to have the warehouse a part of that foundation of your business. So fast forward like 10 years in your life, 20 years in your life, 30 years in your life. You want to be thinking, do I truly want to be in a warehouse? Do I truly want to have the warehouse a part of that ultimate vision? So for us, I knew with my engineering background, I just knew I loved the idea of having a blank canvas that we could build, and then we could strategically systemize, whether that is through teams, processes, everything that's involved from health and safety. I'd been doing that in my engineering. It was a part of the foundation of the fabric of my thoughts of my ultimate vision. Fast forward 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, even as I pass and hand over everything that we have to our teams, to our children, etc., that warehouse for me and Kylie is a part of our foundational fabric of our business, right? So whatever you want to do, you've got to really decide, okay, this is a part of my foundational success. I want to build around a warehouse operation. And that's why it's a part of these success principles. The third one, the third warehouse success principle is financial management and a resourcefulness runway. Allow me to explain what that means. Before you go into a warehouse, or if you're already in a warehouse right now, around this, like fundamentally around all this, is financials. That's just the bedrock of a business. Are you financially in a position to be able to, one, afford a warehouse, be ready for a warehouse with knowing all its expenses and everything that we're going to talk about, a part of this program? This is all based around financials. Whether you're able to pay yourself, whether you're able to pay the actual warehouse, the rent, whether it's business rates, whether it's electricity, utilities, whether that is taxes, the profitability in your business, the financial management that you have, that is going to be critical. Because if you decide to commit, whether it's into your first warehouse, or you're going into your first warehouse, or you're going to go into your second warehouse, third warehouse, whatever it is, you're going to have to know everything involved in each of these. Know your business inside and out. So there's a number of things from a financial management point of view that I'd highly recommend. First of all, I'd highly recommend reading the book Profit First, which is going to be a fantastic sort of foundational financial management system that can guide you in the right way in terms of the profitability in your business. You want to have clarity in your business when it comes to finances. For me personally, one of the things that drives me is certainty, right? Certainty that I know that we are going in the right direction. Are we healthy? Are we not healthy? And if I've got certainty and I've got clarity of our financials, it allows us to act more swiftly, right? Be clinical in the actions that we take, without hesitation, without thinking, okay, can we afford these cameras, or can we afford the materials, can we afford the shelving, can we afford the streams, can we afford all these things, which ultimately the speed of implementation comes from the clarity and certainty that we have. So and that's ultimately financially at the bedrock, the foundations of your business. The clearer you are, the more certainty that you've got, the more you're going to be able to take action. Okay, let's move into this warehouse. I know my costs, I know my profitability. We're moving into this warehouse. We're going to invest in these tools, these resources, hire that staff member, whatever it might be, a part of your journey. Now, the resourcefulness runway, this is a part of your financial management system. This is you as the business owner knowing what runway do you have. If you think of all the expenses in your business and think of all the capital that you've got available, the cash you've got at hand right now, or the credit that you've got at hand right now, knowing what you've actually got, whether it's from your savings accounts and you've been putting money away into your savings accounts, your profit account, if you've been actually saving and knowing with clarity the profit that you're making in your business, this is the resourcefulness runway. So if something happens, if an emergency strikes, you wake up in the morning, something's happened, and you need £1,000, £2,000, whatever it might be, you have actually you're resourceful. You're able to look at what capital you've got, what cash you've got, what credit you've got, what reserves you have, and you're able to you've got a bit of a runway, whether that is 3 months, 6 months down the line. So if your business stopped, if all this, everything that we do just stopped, it went to ground zero, what is your runway? Super, super important. So one of the things for me personally, before we ended up quitting our jobs, before we hired our staff members, before we moved into this first 2,000 square foot warehouse, this one, I was very, very aware of, okay, what reserves do I have? A part of my financial management systems. I was very aware of what cash we had, what credit we've got available, and that gave me a level of certainty, it gave me a level of clarity of going, okay, if something happened, then I need to do this, or we've got this available, or we have that available, we've got options. Okay, so that is super, super another sort of foundational success principle. The next one is balance between delayed gratification and bottlenecking growth. Okay, what does that mean? That means you right now, if you're thinking of going into a warehouse, or you've already jumped into a warehouse and maybe you don't know when to jump into a next warehouse, there is a part of anything that we do in the business. We've got to have you've got to have that delayed gratification, as in, don't be too hasty to make a fundamental change in your business, right? So you have one great month in your business and you decide, okay, I'm going into a 10,000 square foot warehouse. So you commit to it, you sign leases, contracts, everything else, you commit to it, and then all of a sudden, like month 2, it drops. Month 3, it drops. And then all of a sudden you're sort of panicking, or you wasn't in a place ready really for your business. So this is from a delayed gratification. Being slow, right? Urgent in the day-to-day, but being slow and strategic with the big milestones, with the big actions that you're taking in your warehouse. But at the same time, on the flip side of this, and I'm going to play a bit of devil's advocate here, is also not being too slow and being the bottleneck of your growth, right? So you could be right now ready for that step. You could be ready for your first step, your second step, your third step, whatever it might be, but you are bottlenecking your own growth. You're not deciding. You're going month on month and you're thinking to yourself, okay, I need to take this action, I need to do this. Okay, I'll just leave it a month, or I'll just leave it another month. So every time you make this type of strategic move, I'm going to go into a warehouse, think of it from this point of view, and this is exactly the mindset that I had. We was, at that moment in time, we was at home, we was operating from home, we were shipping from home, and our living room, our dining room was jam-packed, right? We were busy at home, and we was reaching the bottleneck of space. And we were thinking we were super, super busy. When we moved into this 2,000 square foot warehouse, all of a sudden, we weren't as busy as we thought. That small little living room only fit into a small little area inside the roller shutter door, which basically meant we had like another 1,800 square foot of empty space. Now, what that did for me, I started to believe, and I really thought this, it was like a vacuum effect. It meant that all of a sudden your mind is opened up to a bigger way of thinking, and you're now wanting to suck all these ideas, how you can grow, how can you fill this space. That's what essentially was happening. We was like, oh, actually, we're not that busy at all. Right, we need to find more products. We need to build more relationships. We need to order higher quantities. We need to open more accounts. We need to, all these, another way of thinking, whereas a few months before at home, I wasn't even thinking in this way, right? So that bottlenecking growth, if you was to make that, if you don't hesitate too much and you go and make that step, you're going to be thinking to yourself, it's like a quantum leap, right? It's going to give you a quantum leap in energy, in belief, in urgency, in your visions of the future, what your business is going to look like when it's completely full. I had the same thoughts of when we was in a 2,000 square foot warehouse and when we went to the 10,000 square foot warehouse. Exactly the same thing that happened. All of a sudden I'm thinking to myself, how am I filling this space? What are our operations? What's our systems in our operations? How can we fill this space? How can we build more relationships? What other services, etc., could we build, right? So that is another success principle about being in a warehouse. The next thing, number 5, is supply chain relationships, okay? Supply chain relationships. What that means is you're going into a warehouse, or you're in a warehouse right now. You as the business owner, or your management team, as you start to build your management team, you need to really have a core belief that the supply chain relationships in your business is absolutely paramount, because they can make such a catastrophic difference in your business. What that means is your suppliers, wholesale accounts, brand accounts, exclusive brands, whether that's partners that you have, whatever key, all your relationships in terms of inbound into the warehouse, as well as then outbound in the warehouse, all your logistics, everything from the couriers, UPS, Royal Mail, maybe you've got your third-party pallet pickups, building relationships across your supply chain. That is paramount, and it should be a part of your fundamental practices on a week-to-week basis, protecting the relationships of your supply chain. So that is inviting partners to come see you, that is inviting wholesalers to come see you, your vendors to come see you, exclusive brands to come and see you, making phone calls, checking in, emails, always thinking about how am I protecting the supply chain? How am I protecting the relationships? I go for visits to UPS, I talk to Royal Mail, I talk to all these companies, all our couriers, whether that is our local couriers that take our pallets, whether it's case to distribution, whether it's Spavins, all our exclusive brand deals. I'm always nurturing the supply chain relationships that myself and Kylie fundamentally have, because that makes such a difference to everything that you see. If you don't have relationships, and if you don't protect the inbound and the outbound and everything in between, as in your staff, everybody, this is fundamentally going to either give you success in your business and continued growth, or you're going to start struggling, right? So that's another foundational success principle. The next one is number 6. This is your business and operational management principles, okay? This is you going into your warehouse right now, and I'm going to show you this here. This is the book, The Perfect System, which essentially in here it has 2 of our frameworks that we have fundamentally believed in and continue to build through. The first one is the business management framework, okay? This is your business management framework. This is everything high level, everything from having that systems mindset, developing systems in your business, having that mission, right? Your ultimate vision in your business. That is the core values of what you have in your operations, in your business. The system stages that you're developing across your warehouse, whether that is inbound, picking, processing, quality control, whether that's shipment creation, whether that is communication, whether that is everything in terms of your system stages. And we're going to dig much, much deeper into all this throughout this program. Your organizational chart, your accountability chart, this is the staff that you're going to be hiring. Having a clear vision of what your business looks like now to what your business is going to look like in 3 months, in 6 months, in 12 months, in 36 months, in 10 years. Just having visions of, okay, this is what my foundational structure is going to be like. Then it's all the contracts that you have, right? Whether that is in your warehouse, the contracts that you have at your landlord, the leases, if you're going to purchase your warehouse, knowing all the legal aspects of the business, the health and safety of the business, making sure that your staff are under contracts, and we're going to share lots more about that in terms of your staff management. The roles and responsibilities, what are the actual tasks that they're going to be doing, and then systemizing, as in through working procedures across all your business. So that is the business management framework. And this then leads on to what we call the operations management framework. This is the framework that we have here, from everything to do with your staff appraisals, your monthly reports, your weekly updates, the new systems that you're going to be introducing into the business, where we're going to talk a lot about systems throughout this, where we're going to share with you the actual processes that we have in our operations now, as well as the processes that we had throughout the stage and what we've been actually building towards. When something from an incident point of view actually occurs in your business, right? What is the procedures, the processes that you've got for if there's an incident or there's a failure of some sort? How are you dealing with that? And then the communication and task management across your business. This is fundamentally going to have such a major impact on the success of your business, and that's why it is one of the success principles. Number 7 is shrewd investments based on immediate productivity. This is staff, equipment, resources, etc. So when you move into a warehouse, and a part of your warehouse right now, one of the things that you want to think about all the time, that guiding North Star, is productivity. How can we make things as quick as possible? Productivity, in my opinion, is going to always give you a positive ROI. Allow me to give you the most simplest explanation. When we first started back at home, we didn't have like tape dispensers for all our boxes, packages. We didn't have tape dispensers at that moment in time. We used to just like spend 10 minutes trying to find the end of the tape, peel it off. Okay, we're gonna tape it up. We're gonna bite the end of it off. You know, like everything that we did, we've been there. But the tape dispenser, right? The actual tape dispenser costs what, £5, £10, and it's literally going to take you a matter of 3 seconds, right? 3 seconds to just do tape dispenser, compared to 10, 15 minutes trying to find the tape, and trying to tape your boxes. That is the most simplest sort of investment you can make that is going to give you a boost in productivity and a positive ROI long-term in your business. But ultimately, it's going to guide you across everything that you decide to invest on. All your investments, every bit of capital that you have in your business, as long as you're guided by productivity, okay, does it make things easier? Does it make things quicker? Does it make the quality of your work better? Quality control, whether it is inventory movement, speeding things up, it's always going to give you an advantage if it's going to speed up productivity. Whether it's your inventory management, the software, whether it is location, like even as simple as like your warehouse location map, like when we've got products on our racking, knowing exactly where a specific SKU is, okay, we can go straight to that location. And any investment that you make, whether it's time, whether it's your capital, whether it's the staff employment, as if it ultimately boosts productivity, then you want to consider whether you do it at that moment in time. And it's a part of that new system proposal, whether it is what's the complexity of that investment. Okay, you can either invest in like a tape dispenser, or you're trying to build a software that's going to take 18 months. The tape dispenser, you literally order it, it's going to come tomorrow, it's straight to use. Where a software might take 18 months to develop, to design, to discuss, it may cost £40,000 compared to a tape dispenser that costs only £14, right? So being shrewd based on immediate productivity in your investments, this is foundationally been what's guided us. Whether that is initially, we didn't need shelving, so we started to develop the initial systems in the business through these trays. But then eventually what ended up happening was the floor was covered. Now we need to start using the space above the floor. So we started to invest in shelves, which made things quicker, so the shelving started to pay for themselves. Whether that was quality control systems, we used to take videos, or we used to take photos manually of every single product. At some point in our journey, as we moved into this warehouse, we started to think, well, there's got to be a better way. There's got to be a faster way. So we designed this unique sort of this Wi-Fi, high-def, 1080p quality control system, which is always recording. It's not taking any of our time, but it's always there working for us. So number 7 is about having shrewd investments, being clever with where you're putting your money. Don't waste your money on things that you don't need to waste your money on, okay? So that was number 7. Number 8 is ultimately, I was always going to put this in here, it is your commitment to take massive action and sacrifice, right? Being successful in your warehouse is going to need you to take massive action and willing to sacrifice your time in the short term to build you up into the systems and the business operations that you want. That means getting up early, being the first one to the warehouse and the last one out the warehouse, whether that is being at the warehouse when nobody's at the warehouse like I am right now, willing to come into work to think outside the box. How can we make things better, quicker, faster? Sacrificing short term for the greater good long term. Taking massive action. If you are only working 40 hours a week right now, can you work 50, 60 hours a week? I get that you've got to design your life. You've got to design the life that you want to build. And I'm not saying all of a sudden you start working every single day and you burn out. That's not what I'm saying. But at the start, when you're just starting your business, when you're just coming into your warehouse and you've got to build everything, you're on your hands and knees. You've maybe got painting to do. You've got floor work to do. You've got equipment to build. You've got things to set up. You've got your internet to connect. You've got your alarm system that you need to learn. You've got the layout to design. You may want to come and clean and jet wash the floor. You've got to deal with contractors, whether it's joiners, electricians, whether it's roller shutter door guys. It's about that, you putting in the time, especially early, setting things up and willing to take massive action, right? At any moment in the day, at any moment in the weeks and months ahead. If staff are in trouble and you've got a day off and they need you, it might need you to sacrifice until you've got that management, that leadership and management levels in place. Okay. The next one, and number 9, is diversification. Diversification is going to be essential, a part of your warehouse operations. This is diversifying across your business. That is, if you're right now doing Amazon FBA, you're looking at Amazon FBM. If you are right now just solely Amazon, you're looking at how can I diversify into e-commerce in general, whether that is developing your own brand, going into your Shopify, whether it is starting to develop different products and services, a part of your business. Really that diversification and using the resources that you have at your disposal. So one of the things that we did was, because we've got the warehouse, it allowed me to start sharing videos, it allowed me to start sharing and networking, it allowed me to start teaching, and it allowed me to start actually inviting our partners, our vendors, our clients, our customers, come and experience the warehouse, because that is maximizing the use of all your resources. So that's one of the reasons why that diversification is key. If you've only got one point of failure in your business, if you've only got one point of failure in your income, then what happens if something goes away? That's why the maturity of your business through phase one, the startup period. This is phase one before you got into a warehouse, which I said in sort of the first success principle here, being ready to, you're having some foundational level of success. You're now into phase two. Your phase two is that systemization. You're starting to hire team members. You're maybe now into a warehouse. Things are starting to get a lot more mature in your business. You've got, you've got VAT, you've got taxes, you've got all these more legal things from a business owner point of view. You always want to be thinking about that diversification, how you can actually diversify. And that's going to help drastically in terms of that financial management, having that runway, having some redundancy systems, and if something changes with Amazon FBA, you've maybe got Amazon FBM, you've maybe got your e-commerce brand, you've maybe launched private label. Always thinking one phase ahead. Right? When you're in phase one, you're thinking about, okay, what actions am I taking in phase two? When you're in phase two, you're thinking, what actions am I taking in phase three? All this is going to be really, really key, and we're going to talk about diversification a little bit later on in this program too. Number 10. Number 10 is something that is going to help you significantly, and you being here right now is a part of that, and that is being a part of a high-level mastermind, right? Always learning, a never-ending desire to learn. So for me, I've surrounded myself in some amazing people, some people that are in their own warehouses that I can learn from. Throughout the journey, they may have been doing this with the warehouse or that with the warehouse, and I'm actually learning from them. Just like this video right now, and I'm sharing some of the guiding principles of what has got us to this level. That's invaluable. That's invaluable to your success over the long term, because the more you learn, that it's the greatest investment that you can make, being surrounded by people. That's why this is one of the reasons why we have our inner circle, right? The people that I work with, my friends, my network, being a part of, I follow some great people around the world at this point, in the US, in the EU, people that are doing literally hundreds, millions of pounds revenue, dollars, euros, being around people that are taking action practically in their own business, and they are not just sort of talking a good talk, but they're actually working. They're actually building. They're actually doing stuff, right? They're actually taking action and getting some feedback. And then they may fail, but then they may, if you're in a great inner circle, a part of sharing, that's why here, one of the things that I do is I'm always sharing. I'm always trying to share and trying to articulate what I can share with you, because that's going to really help you, and it's also helping me too. Okay, so that was number 10, and 11, the last one, a bit of a bonus one that I wanted to put here at the end, because I'd done the 10 and I thought, okay, one of the things that has also helped is recording and capturing everything. Allow me to explain what that means. That means that take photos, take videos of your journey, quality control, whether that is the photos and the videos that we're taking here, whether that is like me on the YouTube channel, just recording absolutely everything, because that allows you to, one, review and look back in history and what was working, what wasn't working as you continue to grow. It helps you with your motivation. Sometimes we can be taking action and you don't realize how much progress that you're making. You know, you walked into an empty warehouse and then 3 months later you feel like you're not making the progress that you want, but you look around and you think to yourself, wow, only 3 months ago we was in an empty warehouse and look at it now. Recording everything is going to help you from a motivational and a mindset point of view, psychology point of view, but it's also going to help you from learning the actual business that you're building, from the mistakes that are made, from the great things that are happening, the processes that you build, the documentation of how you do specific tasks. All these things are going to just feed into your journey and your the actions that you take and the goals that you set. So that's been 11 success principles, a part of the warehouse, and I've thoroughly enjoyed sort of looking back in the history. I'd love for you to share with me what your thoughts are on these 11. Do you have any contributing ones that you've thought about that's applied in your warehouse journey? I'd love to know. And this is one of the reasons why I've taken all those photos, that I'm able to sort of go back and just share some of these success principles. So I really look forward to seeing you in the very next video. So take care, and as always, keep taking massive action.